Stop being proud of how hard you work. Seriously. Stop wearing your burnout like a badge of honor. In 2026, working hard is not a strategy. It is a coping mechanism. Let me tell you a story. In 1915, there were 26 million horses in the United States. They worked hard. They pulled plows. They carried goods. They built the country. They were essential. They were the backbone of the economy. And then the combustion engine arrived. Within a generation, the horses weren't just unemployed, they were glue. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't get lazy. They just became obsolete. Today, look in the mirror. You are the horse. Artificial intelligence is the engine. And the economy is moving on without you. The reason you feel exhausted, the reason you are answering emails at midnight and taking Zoom calls in your car, is because you are trying to outrun a Ferrari on foot. You are trying to prove your value to a system that has already calculated that you are a liability. The hard work narrative is the lie they tell you to keep you on the treadmill while they build the machine that replaces you. I am Ben, and today we are going to stop the glorification of the grind. We are going to look at the brutal math of the AI economy and why your labor is approaching a value of zero. We are going to diagnose the silent depression of the working class. Why does it feel so hard right now? Why does a six-figure salary feel like poverty? It is because of a phenomenon called the Great Decoupling. Up until the 1970s, as productivity went up, wages went up. If you made more widgets, you got paid more money. That was the deal. But in 2026, that link is severed. It is dead. Productivity is skyrocketing thanks to AI and automation. We are producing more wealth than ever before in human history. The S&P 500 is smashing records. Corporate profits are at all-time highs. But your wages, real wages, adjusted for the cost of housing and food, are plummeting. Where is the difference going? It is going to the owners of the AI. It is going to the owners of the capital. You are doing the work of 3 people using AI tools, but you are getting paid the salary of 1 person. And that salary buys half as much as it did 5 years ago. You are being squeezed from both ends. The technology is making you replaceable, and the currency is making you poor. Look around your office or your Zoom call. Do you see the fear in your coworkers' eyes? It is the fear of obsolescence. In 2026, AI isn't just writing poems or drawing pictures anymore. It is writing code. It is doing accounting. It is reviewing legal contracts. It is doing the middle management jobs that used to be the ticket to the American dream. The entry-level job is dead. The mid-level job is dying. And the senior-level job is being consolidated. You are competing against an algorithm that doesn't sleep, doesn't eat, doesn't need health insurance, and improves at an exponential rate every single month. Your boss knows this. That is why they aren't giving you a raise. They know that you have nowhere else to go. They know that for every job opening, there are 1,000 desperate applicants. This suppresses wages. This kills your bargaining power. You can work 80 hours a week. You can give them your soul. And they will replace you with a software update next Tuesday. This reality creates a psychological crisis. We were raised to believe that our value as human beings is tied to our productivity. What do you do for a living? Is the first question we ask at parties. But what happens when the answer is I am obsolete? What happens when the machine can do it better, faster, and cheaper? We are witnessing the birth of the useless class, a term coined by historians to describe people who are not just unemployed, but unemployable. The economy simply does not need your labor to function anymore. This is why you feel like a ghost in the machine. You are screaming, but the system cannot hear you. The GDP line goes up, the stock market hits all-time highs, the politicians celebrate the strong economy, but you are drowning. And then there is the inflation. The AI is suppressing your wages, but the Federal Reserve is destroying your purchasing power. The cost of survival, rent, food, energy is skyrocketing because the government is printing money to pay its own debts. So you have a ceiling on your income due to AI competition and a floor that keeps rising due to inflation. The space in between is where you live. And that space is getting smaller every single day. You are being crushed in a vice. This is why the side hustles aren't working. This is why skipping the latte doesn't matter. You cannot budget your way out of a structural replacement of human labor. You cannot hustle your way out of a currency collapse. But here is the twist. This isn't a funeral for your future. This is a wake-up call. The old path is closed. The path of study hard, get a job, save 10%, retire at 65 is gone. It is a fairy tale. But a new path is opening. It is a dangerous path, a volatile path, but it is the only one left. It is the path of the owner. In 2026, you cannot be a worker. You must be an owner. You must own the robots, or you must own the assets that the robots cannot print. You must transition from selling your time to investing your capital. The horse didn't survive by working harder. The horse survived by becoming a pet, or it didn't survive at all. Humans don't want to be pets. We want to be free. In the next part of this deep dive, we are going to look at the specific mathematics of this trap. We are going to calculate exactly why a $100,000 salary in 2026 is mathematically equivalent to the poverty line of 2019. We are going to expose the college scam that sold you debt in exchange for a degree that AI just rendered worthless. And most importantly, we are going to outline the escape route. How do you pivot? How do you stop playing a game you are destined to lose and start playing a game you can win? It starts with accepting the death of the old world. Now that we have established that you are the horse in the age of the engine, we need to look at the receipt. We need to do the brutal, unsexy mathematics of why you feel broke even though you are making good money. There is a specific number that used to be the golden ticket in America, $100,000. If you made six figures, you had made it. You bought the house, you took the vacations, you saved for retirement. But in 2026, $100,000 is the new $50,000. It is the new subsistence wage for the urban professional. Let's break down the paycheck of a hypothetical 2026 worker making $100,000. First, the government takes their cut. Between federal, state, and FICA taxes, you are left with maybe $6,000 a month in net take-home pay. Now, let's look at housing. The average rent for a decent apartment in a major city where these jobs exist has exploded to $3,000 a month. That is 50% of your net income gone, just for a roof. Now add the student loan payment, which is back on after the pause has ended, averaging $500. Now add the car payment because used car prices never went back down, another $600. Now add groceries, utilities, and insurance, which are up 25% since 2024. Do the math. You are left with zero. You are making six figures and you are living paycheck to paycheck. You are one flat tire away from disaster. This is not lifestyle creep. This is currency debasement. The dollar you are working for is leaking value faster than you can earn it. You are running up an escalator that is going down. This brings us to the second pillar of the trap, the education scam. For the last 20 years, we told an entire generation that the path to safety was a university degree. We told you to borrow tens of thousands of dollars to get that piece of paper because it would guarantee you a high-paying career. In 2026, that piece of paper is the worst investment in the history of capital allocation. Why? Because the skills you learned in college are the exact skills that AI has mastered. Who needs a junior copywriter when AI writes faster? Who needs a junior paralegal when AI reviews contracts in seconds? Who needs a junior coder when AI debugs instantly? The university sold you a mortgage without a house. You are carrying the debt of a luxury asset, but the asset generates no cash flow. You are entering the workforce with a backpack full of rocks, debt, trying to race against a Ferrari. AI. It is indentured servitude. You are working to pay off interest on a degree that is obsolete. And the universities know it. They are raising tuition every year while the value of their product goes to zero. They are the ultimate grifters of the 21st century. This creates a terrifying reality called the bifurcation of the economy. The middle class is vaporizing. You are either asset-rich or you are working poor. There is no middle ground anymore. If you own the AI or you own the stock of the companies that use the AI, you are getting richer than God. You are seeing your portfolio hit all-time highs because your company just fired 500 people and replaced them with a server farm. But if you are the one selling your labor, you are fighting for scraps. You are competing with millions of other displaced workers for the few human-centric jobs left. This suppresses wages even further. It is a race to the bottom. The psychological toll of this is heavy. You were raised in a meritocracy. You believe that the best person wins. But in an AI economy, merit is redefined. It is not about how hard you work. It is about how much leverage you control. A kid with an AI agent can outproduce a veteran with 20 years of experience. That feels unfair. It feels wrong. But the market does not care about your feelings. The market cares about efficiency. And humans are inefficient. We need sleep. We need motivation. We have emotions. The machine just works. So if the math is broken and the degree is worthless and the hard work is irrelevant, what do? Do we give up? Do we lie down and let the algorithm crush us? No, we pivot. We have to completely change our operating system. We have to stop trying to be better horses and start learning how to drive the car. We have to stop selling our time and start accumulating assets. The only way to escape a system that devalues labor is to stop being a laborer and start being a capitalist. In the final part of this deep dive, we are going to build the escape plan. We are going to talk about the specific skills that AI cannot replace, yet. We are going to talk about how to use the barbell strategy to survive the transition. And we are going to discuss the ultimate goal, sovereignty. How to build a life where you don't need a boss, you don't need a paycheck, and you don't need permission to survive. The era of the employee is over. The era of the sovereign individual has begun. So we have diagnosed the cancer. We know the game is rigged against labor. We know the degree is worthless. We know the currency is melting. Now let's talk about the cure. How do you survive in an economy that is actively trying to make you obsolete? The answer is not to work harder. It is not to get another degree. The answer is to become sovereign. You have to stop viewing yourself as an employee with a job title and start viewing yourself as a business of one. You are the CEO of You Incorporated, and your business model of selling time for money is failing. It is time to pivot. The first step is to identify the human moat. What can AI not do in 2026? It cannot do anything that requires high trust, high empathy, or physical presence. It can write code, but it cannot negotiate a complex deal over dinner where reading body language is key. It can design a building, but it cannot fix the plumbing when the pipe bursts at 3 a.m. It can diagnose a disease, but it cannot hold the hand of a dying patient. The new economy will reward the ultra-human. If your job involves sitting at a computer processing data, you are dead. But if your job involves leading humans, convincing humans, or caring for humans, you have a future. You need to audit your skills. Are you a processor or are you a connector? Processors are being replaced by scripts. Connectors are becoming more valuable because connection is the only thing we have left. The second step is the financial barbell. You need to hedge against your own obsolescence. If AI is taking all the profit, you need to own the AI. You need to own the companies that are building the robots. You need to own the energy grid that powers the data centers. You need to stop spending your paycheck on consumer garbage and start buying the very assets that are destroying your labor value. Every dollar you invest in the S&P 500 or Bitcoin is a vote for your future self. It is a hedge. If your wages go down because of AI, your stock portfolio should go up because of AI efficiency. You are playing both sides. You are the worker, but you are also the owner. You cannot beat the capital class, so you must join them. This requires radical austerity. I know you don't want to hear this. You feel entitled to the lifestyle you were promised. But that promise is broken. If you are making $100,000, you need to live like you are making $50,000. The gap between your income and your expenses is your freedom fund. It is your FU money. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, you are a slave to the algorithm. If your boss tells you to train the AI that will replace you, you have to say yes because you have to pay rent. But if you have 2 years of expenses in the bank, you can say no. You can walk away. You can pivot. Cash gives you the breathing room to reinvent yourself. Debt keeps you locked in the cage. Finally, we need to talk about the mindset of the sovereign individual. The government isn't coming to save you with a universal basic income. If they do, it will be just enough to keep you alive and dependent, living in a pod and eating bugs. That is not freedom. Freedom is self-reliance. It means acquiring skills that make you undeniable. It means building a network of other sovereign people who can support each other. It means owning hard assets like Bitcoin and gold that cannot be debased by the Federal Reserve. It means taking full radical responsibility for your survival. The era of the company man is over. The gold watch at retirement is a myth. You are out in the wild now. It is scary, yes, but it is also liberating. The horses in 1915 didn't have a choice. They couldn't learn to drive the car, but you can. You have a brain, you have agency. You can look at this AI revolution and decide not to be the victim. You can decide to be the pilot. The economy doesn't care about you, but you can force it to respect you by becoming an owner, a leader, and a sovereign operator. February 2026 is a turning point. You can keep running on the treadmill until you collapse, or you can step off and build your own machine. The choice is yours. The pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. Don't let them turn you into glue. I am Ben. The system is rigged, but we can still win if we change the game. Stop complicating it. Start getting free.